Welcome everyone to the PYRESWAP show for Thankful Thursday. And today I actually have a bunch of stuff for Thankful Thursday that I feel like I don't normally always get a chance to talk about. Let's fucking go, Trigger. Let's fucking go. And for those of you who don't know, we have a theme to this show. We have 4 themes. They are Market Monday, where we go over macroeconomic data and just market performance in general. We've got Training Tuesday, where we try to make it extremely educational as far as what PYRESWAP is all about. Wisdom Wednesday, I think, fundamental wisdom that really determines what succeeds and what fails in life. I think that's really what close to what wisdom really is, like making the right decision and learning how to make the right decision heuristically, meaning you know how to make the right decisions all the time, so you're not making new decisions all the time. But Thankful Thursday, I think, is important because crypto has seasons. Web3 has fucking seasons. And these seasons can be extremely bullish, like the one we're in right now, where the price of Bitcoin is, I hadn't even looked today. I'm assuming above 90,000. Yeah, actually, let me get completely updated on this. 88,000. Okay, pretty good. Regardless, pretty good. 88,000 is still quite good. The fear and greed indicator still has 84, which is extreme greed. And again, at the same time, there's always going to be these times that are going to be of high stress. And I know right now it might not feel that way if you're chasing Bitcoin, but maybe you're a PYRESWAP investor that is looking for that surge of performance that you're seeing in Bitcoin or Doge or some other token right now, and you're wondering when is that day finally going to come, right? And it's always closer. The answer to your question is it's always closer. But I want you guys to understand that when we talk about things like red candles can't kill this project or that red candles can be good, these are in fact the financial versions of being able to shift your perspective. So these are the financial versions or economic versions of being able to shift your perspective. A lot of Web3 comes from a single perspective, and the fact of the matter is that having a single perspective is not really what kind of makes an economy work. So the stuff that I wrote down for Thankful Thursday today, I'm going to write that on the board as well. The first one is being thankful for adversity that happened in your past that ended up being for your benefit. Okay, sorry, I'm hitting a technical difficulty right now. Being thankful for adversity that happened in your past that ended up being to your benefit. So I want to be clear that, if we're talking about PYRESWAP, there have been, or the Centimeter Circus, there have been tons of things that happened that were adverse, that were gigantic obstacles, but ended up being to our benefit in the long run. One I can actually think about is the fact that we built PYRESWAP first and not Circus DAO. And had we built Circus DAO first, it would have been absolutely impossible, I think, to really do as much teaching as is needed to get Circus DAO off the ground. PYRESWAP, believe it or not, is actually much simpler to teach because there's really only 2 brand new mechanisms that people need to wrap their minds around in order to figure it out. By the way, something that's coming up for PYRESWAP's UI. Let me see who I'm talking to today. Let me see who I'm talking to. Okay, small crowd today, but whatever. Tooltips. Do you guys know what tooltips are? Yes, so while we have definitely had this policy of being not for beginners, I think that having tooltips that pop up in our UI, which are small tips that can point at things and help people get brief explanations, in our UI at least, the ability to turn tooltips on or off, if that makes sense, that might be immensely beneficial to our user experience in our user interface. So if you guys have seen the meeting menu, just a tip indeed. Thank you, Dr. Mac. That's coming up. More on that later. I have no idea what the timeline on that is because I'm not a developer, but legitimately I realized having those tooltips or having pop-up tips, tutorials can be extremely beneficial to people visiting your website for the first time. And yeah, so we are probably going to install them at least on our more proprietary interfaces. Additionally, things that didn't work out that were to our benefit. Again, the fact that we couldn't launch Dominion at first, we had to launch Hegemony. This gave us like a higher degree of control. And I realized that had we had a lower degree of control, we would not be able to really organize humans in a way that would lead to Circus DAO's success. So if we were building Circus DAO right now, we would be in significantly deeper, we would be going through a significantly harder, the marketing would be way harder for Circus DAO. Let's put it that way. The marketing would be way fucking harder for Circus DAO if we were doing Circus DAO right now. Let's put it that way. And the next thing I was talking about was being thankful for setbacks and obstacles. Oh yeah, exactly. So basically speaking, like Hegemony, and they're kind of reverse oriented. Hegemony. This is stuff that like the SC owns it outright. Owns this 100%. And Dominion, it's like the SC owns partial. This is basically the idea. But on top of that, Dominion projects end up getting plugged into Circus DAO. So they're almost like a satellite DApp. You know, similarly to the way that the PYRESWAP has these peripheral dApps, Circus DAO is also built to have peripheral dApps. Dominion projects all end up in the periphery of Circus DAO. Hegemony projects, they can or they may or may not be associated with PYRESWAP. Hegemony is like a much broader idea, but Dominion was specifically about kind of being a position on the clock for Circus DAO. Yeah, and again, we're clearly, you know, the earliest we could be doing anything with that is 2025 at this point. So like that is just more future stuff. But yeah, we're fully committed to hitting all these targets either way. Like I'm not quitting on any of this. However long it takes, I'm fine with that. But obviously, we're trying to accelerate it every day. To be clear, yeah, that's the gist of the idea. But okay, so somewhere you might have heard this before. Let me adjust my board because I'm getting glare. Somewhere you might have heard before that it can be difficult to be, you can't be stressed out and grateful at the same time. Have you guys heard this before? Like as long as you're appreciative, as long as you're grateful, this is one of the best ways to manage your cortisol. If you were here yesterday, right? Yesterday was a great show, by the way. So if you missed yesterday's show, I might actually recommend you might take a look at it. Definitely, we got a lot of praise for it. You can't be stressed out and grateful at the same time. So quite often, whenever you're stressed out about anything, first of all, that stress is not going to serve you in solving the problem. That stress is not going to serve you in solving the problem. That stress is only stressing you out, and it's actually limiting. It's limiting what you look at. It's narrowing your vision, and it's clouding your brain. It's putting you in like an animal state as opposed to a human state. And if you can shift your focus and be thankful about what's going right for you, you can focus on what you can do to solve the problem. So, for instance, today, I mean, the regular problems are still the regular problems of PYRESWAP. It's mostly just marketing. You guys have heard me talk about this now for a month and a half, right? And even though my AGA factory is still a few days away from really be firing like I want it to, I can still be grateful for things like, hey, you know what? At least I have enough health to go to the PYRESWAP show. At least I have my sight. I have the ability to use my hands. I have the ability to communicate. I have the ability to fight another day. I have the ability to move the needle and work on something, if that makes sense. Even if it isn't, again, that explosive change in awareness that I know everybody listening to this broadcast is looking for, right? Even if that doesn't exactly explode today, it's like I still have the ability to take action on something. And there are so many people that don't have that ability. I can be thankful for my tenacity, and I can even be thankful for my my stubbornness and my refusal to quit, because I know that, okay, when we talk about success and failure as human beings go, this is actually all really very relative. This is all really very relative. What a successful person is only relative to like what the average person is. Does that make sense? So however much success the average person is succeeding at, that's the benchmark for what success will be measured at. If maybe you're 10 times more successful than the average person, that's what looks like being really successful. And if you want to figure out like what causes people to succeed and fail, it's most likely going to be where the average person would quit, where the average person would stop pursuing their goal, right? So, you know, there have been dozens and dozens of days in the last year where it felt like we only experienced obstacle, we only experienced setback, we only experienced maybe no progress at all, like no measurable progress at least. But like on those days, I can still be thankful for my own tenacity to just keep going, because it's from going through all this, I know that I'm separating myself from truly hundreds and hundreds of Web3 projects. So like, this is a dApp, it can't die in crypto winter, and it gets used every day. Like, to be clear, like we're getting the GPSC aggregate market cap into the top 100. That's, yeah, I fucking swear to you we are. Like, before phase 5, I think, we absolutely will be in the top 100 as a fucking aggregate. Because we're a fucking mega dApp. We're a fucking mega dApp that already is proven that the theoretics behind it have some accuracy to them. Therefore, new mechanisms, new elements, new designs coming from the same theoretics, but now backed with data, they're only going to be a little bit better. They're only going to be a little bit more popular. They're only going to be a little bit more of a problem solver than the phase 1 stuff. And our ability to do this in a way that actually our user base benefits from, and that our user base benefits from them in the present, not like they're buying this project for the speculative future use case. And I know that that's popular in Web3, so I'm not trying to diminish this, especially right now because everybody's waiting on a 100x to get to peg. Like, we're just not limited to only offering that. That like, hey, don't worry guys, the future will be better, right? The future, what's gonna happen is some mega corporation is gonna do something here that nobody understands. And I see that there's a lot of major projects. One of them, you know, I would bash it, I guess it would be Ripple, XRP, right? And XRP has these narratives behind it like, XRP is gonna take over Swift, XRP is gonna take over the derivatives market. And then you actually go and you look at the derivatives market and you go and you look at Swift, and like, this isn't true at all. What they're preying on is that the people who hear these narratives are too lazy, or they're too unmotivated, or they don't feel confident enough to go actually research what Swift is or what derivatives are. Does that make sense to you guys? So they just like, they keep telling this narrative about like, hey, one day this is gonna happen, therefore buy XRP now so you can front run when some gigantic bank is gonna start using XRP. Do you guys get what I'm saying? And like, it's kind of ridiculous because like in the mind of these people, it's like, buy XRP now to fucking XRP becomes something, right? Yeah, institution buys, I don't know, $1 billion of XRP, right? Question mark, right? And then 4, retail frontrunners sell. Retail frontrunners sell back to cash. Is that the order that people think this is going to happen in? Because like, if the institution is moving into XRP, like, I'll tell you this, XRP holds all their tokens. Do you guys know this? All of XRP is minted in advance. Are you guys aware of this? How this works? So the way that the fucking institution does it is like, they sell their tokens in batches. It's all in a pre-sale. Yeah, exactly. So the point being is, Javery, if some sort of gigantic bank let's say the fucking the Euro Central Bank or SWIFT or the derivatives market, which is not like derivatives is not like an institution. Derivatives can be at least in the United States, it can be sold by farmers to fucking warehouses. Like that's where fucking commodity futures comes from. Like warehouses and farmers are doing like contracts to purchase in the future. Those contracts get like resold to fucking banks. So like it's like there isn't like a NASDAQ for like where derivatives come from. Like those get sold later on by. Anyways, the point being is, if all of the XRP tokens are minted at the start, Javery, wouldn't a gigantic institution, they would do an over-the-counter deal with XRP itself, right? Ripple Labs. They would do an over-the-counter deal with Ripple Labs. They would buy, a quadrillion of them or however much the total supply is. I don't even remember. They're going to buy their chunk and like, they're going to do something else with it that, you know what I mean? Like it's like they're not going to buy it on Coinbase with like $1 billion getting shot putted on Coinbase. You know what I mean? They're going to buy it directly from Ripple Labs, probably at a discount because they're going to buy it in bulk, and they're going to have like some sort of agreement about what they use it for, and then it just becomes part of the narrative. But what they use it for might not even affect retail, not in like a real clear way, right? Not in as clear of a way as the way that the IWV, not nearly as clear as the way that PyroPhantom helps 2ohm. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, I can explain the way PyroPhantom helps 2ohm. I think most of you guys listening know how PyroPhantom helps 2ohm. But, like, the way that would be, the domino effect for XRP, it would be difficult for me to really explain it to you guys. I'm not trying to make Thankful Thursday an episode where I just bash Ripple Labs, but I want you guys to understand something that, like, XRP, it does show you the power of narratives. It would, right. So people who are validating XRP or however the fuck XRP works, that might be beneficial, right? Yeah, so that could in theory help. But I've also heard that XRP is like the gas is all centralized. Like the gas gets paid for by, you know what I mean? Like you can externalize gas costs to the XRP, I've never used it, to be clear. I have researched it. I have researched XRP. One of the things that I could do on these shows again is doing fucking white paper reviews. Yeah, I do know it's fast. But Javery, is it also true that like you don't pay for gas? Like somehow the owner operator does, the Ripple Labs does. Is that how it works? Okay, so you do pay for gas. Okay. Got it. Okay. Well, anyways, and I'm not trying to trash your XRP bags. Yeah, I'm not trying to trash your XRP bags or whatever. But what Ripple really shows us is like the power of narratives. So if you guys saw, the PYRESWAP.com landing page, we now have these extremely impressive benefit statements. If you guys have seen our link tree, we literally we start off by like, hey, we're gonna give you the same powers as central bankers so they can't own you. Yeah. Heart rate's not going up. I fucking mean it. Does that make sense? This is it's a little bit outside my personality to talk like this, but I can defend it. You get what I'm saying? Like I can defend that narrative, and it sounds fucking. That's the most impressive angle you can view PYRESWAP from the GPC at. Did that make sense to you guys? That is a true statement, whereas XRP taking over derivatives, that is again, and it's very, this is a very interesting phenomenon. I'm going to draw out here what derivatives are. And in fact, I kind of could do this on Tuesday as well. We've gone over options and futures, right? In fact, let's wipe off the title today too. Hang on. Did I have anything else for gratitude? Okay. Yeah. Learn how to be thankful for your problems. If you can learn how to be thankful for your problems, your brain will naturally learn how to make them opportunities. Does that make sense? So we acquired 5 Discord servers for PYRESWAP. 5 of them. We have 5 Discord servers, right? And when I acquired all 5 of them, I felt like, hey, guess what, guys? We just solved marketing because we have 5 Discord servers, right? Back in 2022, Discord servers were where the fucking action was at. Does that make sense? So I was like, hey guys, we're gonna be good because we have 5 Discord servers. We're not gonna need to do any marketing when we launch, right? Because we already have the ability to write announcements to fucking 9,000 people. Does that make sense? So as the meta shifted and people changed their habits, this is in fact, this kind of tripped my ankles because I realized that what I thought were solid gold marketing assets were in fact not nearly as useful as they were in 2022. Let's put it that way. But this problem, this marketing problem became an opportunity. The opportunity is me leaning on my ability to learn at a really fast rate. I have just a really fast rate of learning. I can lean on my intrinsic strength. 5 has the opportunity, 5 has the opportunity, can now learn marketing at a fundamental and conceptual level so that as, I want you guys to know, the marketing seasons will change again 2 or 3 years from now, or whenever the next, okay, Bitcoin is going to go into summer right now, right? And then it's going to go back into winter 6 months, 9 months later. Does that make sense? You guys get what I'm saying? And then it's going to be in winter again for 18 months to 2.5 years, right? Make sense already? So it's going to have a year of summer followed by 3 years of winter, something like this, right? Follow me? Do you guys know what I mean? Or it's like a year and a half of summer or 2.5 years of winter, right? The point being is that as this happens, you're always going to have this cycling action of the user base. Yeah. So it's like that's going to happen. And where winter's going to be at is like 60,000. People are going to be like, it's only 60,000. I saw it at 180,000 before, right? They're just going to cry, right? And it's just interesting that, you know, you could have bought it at like $17,000, like not that long ago. Do you guys remember when Bitcoin was $17,000? It was not that long ago. You would have, this is like a very, you could have been a leveraged buy at 17K. Do you guys know what I mean? If you did a 10x leveraged buy on Bitcoin at 17K, let's see, you would be up, you would have 60x your money. Well done, Javer. Yeah, you could 60x your money had you bought Bitcoin at 17K right now, right? Almost 60x. Because if you did a 10x leverage, right, on a centralized exchange, not a real Bitcoin buy, but had you done a 10x leveraged Bitcoin buy, in theory you can do it in DeFi too, right? You know, on like Aave and on Impermax and stuff, but like you could have bought a 10x, Javery, it's, people are degen as fuck, let's put it that way, right? But you could have bought a 10x buy, and if Bitcoin went up 6x, you could have had a 60x. You could have 60x your money had you bought Bitcoin at 70K. But again, you got to have the time in market, right? Time in market beats time in the market. Make sense? Anyways, 5 can now learn marketing. This is the opportunity of our problem. Because I can learn marketing, I'm going to lean on my ability to be more obsessive about learning, so that way that in 2025 and 2026 and 2027 and 2028, we're still winning at marketing. In 2032, we're still winning at marketing. Does that make sense? We're still just crushing everybody else because we just understand it better, right? Just making sense. Like, this is the opportunity that now, even though we're facing this problem in the present, we're able to solve way more problems in the future that we were guaranteed to have because the marketing meta keeps shifting. Does that make sense to you guys? I didn't even know that the marketing meta shifted. But now that I know the marketing meta shifted, that's already an advantage that, again, 99% of people have not picked up on yet. That like, hey, the social media platforms rotate in their ability to market. Make sense? Right? Like one of them gains more popularity, one of them loses popularity. It's like they match the season. That's very interesting. But anyways, that's the opportunity. Does that make sense? So our marketing problem is now a marketing opportunity, right? We had a decay problem. We had to relaunch Genesis, but we were able to extend it, right, to make it 6 months instead of 90 days, right? We bought ourselves time. We still have time. We still have time. Anyways, going back to XRP, Ripple Labs, and Javery, how about this? Javery, since you are an XRP holder, tell me, what is the weirdest narrative you've heard about XRP? Like, ones that you've heard about XRP, please, I would love to hear some of them, and I can even analyze them right now as show content. I think that'd actually be great. Taking over banks. Yeah, okay. Do they mention which banks? Yeah, do they name any banks? Do you mean Swift? Yeah. Okay, so let's find out what the fuck Swift is. Let's find out what Swift is, you guys. This is gonna be so much fun. By the way, guys, a pretty large country was kicked out of Swift recently. Did you guys know this? You know why I was kicked out of Swift? Because it invaded Ukraine. That's right, it invaded Ukraine. Oh, we got Discord on this thing? Okay. Really? Okay, screen cap's not working. Let me see. Does this have an extender? Like, does this one have a extension cord? Would it be like a middle of the road type of thing, Mr. Producer? Yeah. Is this? Okay. Well, you know what I'll do? I will, in fact, just do the research and I'll write notes on the board. Okay. Well, let's see if that makes sense. It is, in fact, Swift system, right? Okay. What the fuck is Swift? Let's look at Wikipedia. The society, Swift. Society for Worldwide Inter You would also have to compete with all of the things that SWIFT provides for these banks. And additionally, so there's stuff like that, like tokenization for bonds and stocks, etc. That, if that's not, okay, so that right there is what you call a feature. Does that make sense? Yeah. This is actually great because I can talk about like features versus benefits, right? So tokenization of bonds and stocks. This is a feature for sure. Okay, biggest question is, are the ones in power now going to relinquish it to save money and improve speed? Yeah, because like, what is the point? Yeah, like what is the point, what's the benefit to them? Yeah, what's the point of the benefit? Also, XRP has like what, Secretary of the Treasury on the board? So like, it's still unclear to me how XRP is like, first of all, top 10 market cap. Yeah, exactly. So like top 10 market cap, or at least it used to be, right? It also has the Secretary of the fucking Treasury, a previous one, now on the board of advisors or whatever, and like still talking about like, hey, we're gonna try to undertake SWIFT, but we're also like a maverick and we're fighting against the powers that be. So like it's like, well, you're kind of stacking yourself. Yeah. So like, I mean, like, they might just be marketing to the wrong people. I don't have any conspiracy theory about WEF, by some. WEF is a conference. Yeah, like whatever. It's a conference. There's a fucking, people talk about WEF like it's like some sort of oligarchy. Yeah, like it's some fucking weird ass shit, but it's a conference. It's just a conference. Anybody with 30 grand can go. It's an expensive ticket, but like, again, 30 grand is 30 grand, right? There's a, going to outer space costs more, if that makes sense. Yeah, like 30 grand in the United States that maybe is like a motor vehicle, right? And while the average working class person can't go, it could still be, I think any American could go to the WEF as like a bucket list thing. They could probably figure out a way to attend it once in their life. Yeah, there's more student loan debt on the average person than that. But like, yeah, the majority of the WEF that gets shown to the fucking world is lens to the world of clickbait. So again, they have people like Javier Milei going to the WEF to speak, right? And like, they're willing to talk to anybody, but the only thing that goes viral on social media is the one person in the WEF who's trying to market, cockroaches and crickets as the new source of protein. In the future, we're all gonna eat bugs. So that's the person that goes viral because that's the weirdest fucking person. And then like, we're mad at the WEF. Most of the time, it's like just vanilla as fuck banking talk. Yeah, they just talk about like, and the yield curve here was up 1/4 of a point. However, there was an adjustment in key rate duration here. When viewed with Macaulay duration, they just talk like, I have banking textbooks right here most of the time. That's like the majority of this conference. I've never been, but I have business partners who have attended Davos. Let's put it that way. There have been like satellite events at Davos for crypto stuff too. But like, yeah. So when they say like, yeah, saying part of WEF, that probably means that they just attend that conference. Yeah, they probably just attend that conference, yeah. Yeah, I think that, in my mind, I feel like it would make more sense for XRP, for Ripple Labs, they should find 5 third world countries to start off. Does that make sense? Find 5 third world countries. Yeah. Like, can you get 5 third world countries to like sign up to use this? Because if you can get that to happen, right, like now you have proof of concept. But if they're trying to like work their way in with like the WEF and they're trying to get like, I don't know, European banks to adopt them, that I think is not gonna, yeah. Yeah, me personally, my personality is the regulators can go fuck themselves. Yeah, like if regulators want to like chase crypto out of their country, that's fine. Crypto will go elsewhere. Yeah. If I have to leave the United States for fucking the Centimeter Circus or for PYRESWAP, I'll do it. Yeah. Yeah, there's other countries I can go to for sure. Yeah, I have friends in other countries. I hope the country allows me to bring my guns. Whatever. But yeah, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, are they doing this stuff that involves like, hey, we're gonna take over the SWIFT system? It's like, well, do you have the incentives in place that the members of SWIFT would actually want to leave SWIFT for this? I think they should find 5 third world countries and start with these 5. Are they doing anything like that? Is that a narrative? You know, there's countries in the Caribbean, Jabri, that like, you know, I think Dominica is always like, you know, Justin's son of Tron. He's always like throwing money at that country just to say that, hey, by the way, this is now the official currency of Dominica. It's like 70,000 people that live on an island. They're mostly like fishermen. Yeah, third world country, Caribbean. And they're like, yep, this is a crypto-friendly country. That's what I think Ripple would do. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. I'll tell you this. And when they talk about banking the unbanked, there's a word here called microfinance. And if I'm going back here to Wikipedia. Going back to my observation, what is XRP, right? XRP now has what? It has inscriptions, or it has smart contracts, right? I've heard that there are now NFTs on Ripple. Is that correct? They created NFTs, yeah. So they put smart contracts on there, or they put fucking you know, inscriptions. Of course they do, yeah. So is it smart contracts or inscriptions? Like, do you know the difference? Or like, yeah, what that would mean? Okay, so it's like runes. It's like inscriptions, right? Ordinals. It's ordinal NFTs and ordinal memes. Yeah, okay. So, okay. So if I'm looking at the whole, like product service of what I understand XRP to be, you've got the instrument. The infrastructure, ordinal capabilities, make sense? This is literally what what we're just looking at here, right? And then you got to wonder, Jeffrey, why that wouldn't pass the validation vote. But again, does XRP know what their fucking job is? Does XRP know what their business model is? Like, this is now the question. Oh, I see. Question then, like that also implies that there's a reason for the transactions other than speculation. It's like, hey, speculation will be... I'm not even going to get involved there. But anyways, okay. Yeah, like no instrument. Right? You can argue that's infrastructure too. Yeah, thanks, Trigger. Probably like whatever capabilities they want. Yeah, like because they can just, I don't know. There's a token. The token is pre-minted. They sell it in batches. The infrastructure has gas. It's kind of also centralized. They have ordinal capabilities. Yeah, I don't fucking know, man. Yeah, like it's just still like I feel like 5 is the type of guy that should be able to understand these things, right? And it's still like, it's not that it doesn't have the capabilities of doing what Swift does, but it's like, there still has to be incentive to fucking switch, right? So, you know, if the banks already use Swift and they're invested now in Swift and they have a habit formed around using Swift, it's like there has to be enough of an upside the banks see to using XRP that they would fucking stop using Swift and start using XRP. Right? And this is all about features versus benefits. So like, this is now actually a marketing problem. But what's crazy is that they're talking about this as if this is doing this. They're not talking about this as they market to banks. They talk about this as they're marketing to retail users. Like this is the narrative that they fucking circulate on Twitter or whatever. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Right? So it's like the idea, this is something that's really easily sold to, I guess, the small people of the world. I sound fucking cocky and arrogant when I say that shit. So I won't, but like, it's like, okay, I don't understand this, but it sounds like big money. Therefore, I'm going to get bullish on it. Holy shit. The Yakosphere. All right, anyways. Do you guys have any questions? Because we don't have to go the whole hour. I think we did a good job today. We talked about useful things. And I definitely don't want to force myself in these broadcasts, by the way. I probably spend up to 15 hours a week doing calls, broadcasts, and meetings. And I don't want to like just stretch the time slot out for the sake of nothing. So if there's no questions, we can end it here. And yeah. But yeah, okay, I hope I at least J-Reed for J-Reed, I hope I was able to at least scrutinize that a bit for the benefit of the audience, because I'm sure most of you guys have heard of XRP, right? Okay, I see 2 people typing. Yeah. And, you know, J-Reed, I'm not saying that it might not go up, but like me personally, I would say they should go find 5 third world countries first. Yeah, like, hey, can you do that for 3, like, you know, a bunch of third world countries that maybe Swift is not extremely open to? No. Yeah. Cynical, I was just asked. I was asked. Yeah. We were talking, why the fuck did we switch into XRP? Oh, I was talking about the power of narratives. Yeah. So this is again goes to marketing. So we switched the way that we talk about ourselves, and we started talking about our most impressive narratives. So if you've seen the landing page, Cynical, we talk about, and in our link tree as well, PYRESWAP gives you the same powers central banks do, so they can't own you. And this again is our like most broadest and most powerful like benefit statement. Does that make sense? And it's a benefit statement that I can say without losing any sleep at night because it's technically true. Does that make sense? So the next thing, like the way that I describe that XRP is marketed based on the power of narratives, because if you actually look past the narrative, it's still hard to think about how these things are configured. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm not, we're not expanding to XRP. We're still focusing on the exact problem I've been talking about forever, which is just awareness generating activities, what we have going on right now. There's no point in like extending development right now when we haven't saturated the user base with what we've already developed. Does that make sense? We don't need to like build more, new chains or new tokens right now. None of that yet. None of that. Yeah, we're going to, okay, before we add another chain, you will see boardrooms print. Yeah. We're not going to Ripple. Yeah. We will probably never go to Ripple because it's not an EVM chain. I expect that the GPSC will mostly be on EVM chains, meaning chains that MetaMask and Rabby can connect to. Make sense? Yeah. So I don't expect us to go to XRP unless they get Yeah. I see. Okay. Well, anyways, that's interesting. Yeah. If XRP becomes an EVM, possibly in the future, why the hell not? Because we could go to Doge chain, because Doge is in the top 10 now, right? And Doge is an EVM, right? That's like almost like a side chain, wrapped Doge. Anyway, but yeah. Anyways, the point being is that that's why we were talking about XRP. I was basically talking about the power of narratives. Yeah. Because Doge chain, by the way. Why so cynical? You might have heard me make this huge brag that I am also capable of repegging the multi-chain assets. Does that make sense? Granted, I need to be a lot more famous to do that, to pull that move off, right? It is completely feasible. Like, I have mathematics in place that would make it possible. It would possibly take longer, but it would be like restoring $1 billion of TVL to chains like Phantom and Doge Chain and Moon River and stuff like that. Because like a lot of chains got fucked over by multi-chain, right? So we could go to Doge Chain based on the fact that we could repeg assets on Doge Chain too, right? Like we could go over there for two reasons, because I still think of it as like an undervalued arena, but I gotta be more, like the Senior Circus and this project have to be way more famous, right? Indeed, yeah. But I'll tell you this, yeah. So the good news is, why so cynical, is that we probably have a good 4-year, right? We have a good 4-year window to get over there, if that makes sense, And I do believe that this meme, because Dogecoin, Elon Musk is now in the government or something now, and the department is called Doge. It's just so fucking, it's cartoonish, right? But again, why would I fuck up a narrative, right? Why would I fucking fuck up a narrative? Exactly, right? I did try to like at least point out where I see that there's like a few missing pieces to the XRP narrative. But again, people don't need to see that clearly. Does that make sense? Right? Like Doge is mooning hard as fuck right now, right? It's mooning way more than Bitcoin or any other coin, right? At least in the top 100, because of the fact that Trump got elected. And there's like the DOGE, right? And it's, oh my God. I can't believe that this fucking Shiba Inu like meme from like 2012, it evolved into a cryptocurrency, which then got Elon Musk behind it, which is now a department of the government. It really makes you consider that we live in like a simulation and that there's just no rules. It's just crazy. But yeah, let that also be bullish to the point that we will also succeed. Let's put it that way. Yeah, like there's no reason why we wouldn't. Make sense? If this crazy ass shit that I'm talking about is possible, then repegging 9 tomb forks in a single project, possible as fuck. Does that make sense? Extremely possible. Anyways, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, like, again, cynical. Trump was getting elected, and like his media companies were getting pump and dump. They went up 40%, And really, it doesn't really imply that, well, Fixer, I would, what a great question. I think that what it means is that the rules might be more bendable than we think they are. Yeah, that's what I really mean to say. The rules might be more bendable than we realize. Yeah, they're not just as rigid, because it might just be like editing a few lines of code to make the impossible now be possible. Does that make sense? Maybe that's what our brains do, right? On a quantum level. I'm not going to extend the show for another hour to talk about this concept, but moving on, we're almost done here. But yeah, what I'm saying is first of all, the memes of the Donald Trump, his companies, they're going up in the stock market, but it doesn't really imply that he's going to now have more time to do things with those companies. Now, granted, he's very likely able to, to show favoritism to that company, but really on the night of the election, it's a meme stock. Does that make sense? So Trump Social or Truth Social, whatever the fuck that is, Trump Media Group, that is like a meme stock on the election night. Do you guys know another company? I'll give you guys a ticker. Do you guys know this company? MSTR. Who here knows what this company is? Yeah, Tesla as well. MicroStrategy, indeed. Everybody knows this. Okay, now they hold a lot of Bitcoin because Michael Saylor happens to be the CEO and founder of MicroStrategy. But at the same time, why would the company, what is MicroStrategy's business model, and does it have actually anything to do with holding a bunch of Bitcoin? Because it might just be that they are holding Bitcoin as like their own revenue model, like they buy it and fucking sell it, or they just buy it for the sake of leveraging it. But MicroStrategy, as I understand, is the company itself is not necessarily they do mining, right? They do Bitcoin mining. I should actually fucking look up what MicroStrategy actually does, because it's still kind of unclear that is that what it is? Okay, then maybe that makes sense. But legitimately, okay, Bitcoin's going up, therefore MicroStrategy should also go up, and it's you really have to think about one piece touching another to see if that actually makes sense, or if MicroStrategy is now a meme stock that just follows the price of Bitcoin. Does that make sense to you guys? And I'm dropping the marker and we're wrapping it up here. Just because I'm not gonna beat this to death. I'm not trying to besmirch or talk shit about anything. Yeah, I have to leave as well. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up now. This is right around the hour mark anyway. Thank you guys for coming to the PYRESWAP show. We'll see you on Monday, and I think that we might have night and day changes by Monday too. More on that later. Have a great rest of your day.